Welcome back, everybody. It is May 1st of 2022, and this is episode 41 of What Is On My Desk. Here we are, everybody, back for another one of my monthly updates. I have quite a bit to show you guys. Progress on the models have been good. I've been having a little bit of extra time than I thought I would this month to get some work done on these things, and I'm at that point now where progression tends to go fast. Every little step makes them look amazing, so you're going to be very impressed with how they look. I hope I am. I've also got a couple of new items I'm going to show you guys. I've got a couple of coins and a new decal sheet to go over. I've got some goodies with that sheet as well, so stay tuned. There's going to be some extra stuff with that coming up soon, so very excited for that stuff. And just before we get swung over, just very quickly, I also got a new hat. These guys came through. We had a Global 7500 come through, and the Bombardier sales team was on site, and they handed out a couple of hats to everybody, so I'm going to add that to my collection. If you haven't seen it yet, I don't know if I showed it before, I have a few hats that I have hanging up here. Most of them are aviation specific. Not all of them, but most of them are aviation specific, so I'll have to add that one up there to the collection. I'm not really a hat guy, but I'll never say no to one if anybody hands it to me. But if I have the choice, I'll take a sticker or a coin over a hat any day. So on that note, let's get swung over to this desk. We'll get an update. You'll see the new products. You'll see the updates on these kits, and you'll see where I plan to go in the future with these things. And on that note, my name is Sean, and this is Sean's Aviation. So as I said, before we get back over here looking at the kit status, I'll take a quick look at the new product. And it is a decal sheet for one of my A26 models. Now if you saw last month's What's on My Desk, I'll put a link up here in the corner if you haven't seen it. I introduced the new ICM A26 or B26K. So I'm just going to fix my camera angle here just a little bit. There we go. The K model A/B26 that I recently got from ICM. And that kind of rounded out the collection of A26 kits I wanted. I had the B gun-nosed, the C glass-nosed, and then the K Vietnam. And that was sort of the A26 family, which means I'm basically, it's now ready to build. And the way I usually, when I get kits, is I get the kit, I kind of come up with a plan for what I want to build it as, and then I make sure I have everything I need to complete that build. And that's basically because a lot of stuff can become very difficult to find later on, depending on how model companies close, stuff becomes rare. So if I know that there's something specific I want, I try to find it now, and then I'm not running into issues down the road. So I kind of did an inventory of my A26 material and came to the realization that I was missing a set of decals I needed. And a little bit of a backstory here. I know it's going to be a bit wordy and not everybody necessarily wants to hear the backstory, but my thought process, I have, as I said, the B, the C, and the K. The K is going to be done in Vietnam. That's a given. And then I have the gun-nosed B and the glass-nosed C. And I'd like to do one of those in the Black Korea scheme, and then one of them in a World War II scheme. And that gives me the World War II, the Korea, and the Vietnam, which is the life cycle of the A26. And that's kind of how I like to do my collections. If I have multiples of the same aircraft, I try to do different things with them to show. I'm not going to do two, U.S. Air Force or, 8th Air Force P-51s. I'm going to do a British one or a Canadian one, do one differently to show what else the P-51 did in its lifespan. Or I'll get a different variant and I'll have the whole sequence. And you've seen some of that if you followed through on, like I said, either my P-51 model collection or my Spitfire model collection, the P-40s. I've got a variation of variants, or I do different countries and different time spans for each different, show the life cycle of a plane, long story short. So I needed a World War II scheme for the A26s. Now the glass-nosed A26 that I have, the monogram kit, I'll put the instructions up here so you can see, includes two Korea War schemes. And they're not very colorful, but they're Korea. One of them has green. I'll probably do the one with the green on it. So that's an option for the glass nose. So then the gun-nosed one, I needed something for that. Now, I'll put the decal sheet up here, or the instruction sheet for the gun-nosed B model, the Revell kit, and you'll see that there's two options. There's the air spray water bomber in the post-war, which is not something I'm interested in doing. And then there is this black Korea scheme, but if you read the details, it's modeled and the decals are from an aircraft that's in a museum, and I can't find any history that that aircraft actually ever flew like that. It's one of those made-up schemes that museums do to honor a general or, you know, a founder or a donor to the museum. So it doesn't actually, as far as I can tell, line up with any historical type aircraft. But then if I have a quasi-accurate scheme on the black on the gun nose, but I have two good schemes on the glass nose, I want to make the glass nose the Korea War, and I needed a decent World War II-ish set of decals for the gun nose. So I started doing some research. A26 decals are hard to find. A lot of them are glass nose, and a lot of them are Korea. There's not a lot of the early gun nose World War II era kind of markings. I was hoping to find something painted in olive drab, but again, exceedingly rare. The vast majority of the A26s were painted in either an aluminum dope or left as a bare metal. So again, searching. There have been a few sheets out there. I found a couple on a couple of different decal sites. They usually wanted big money. A lot of them were, memory's going to fail me now. I think there was some Eagle Cal, something like that. Anyways, there were some older decal sets, sheets available, but they wanted a lot of money because most of these decals date from the late 90s, early 2000s. And, one second, excuse me, they're rare these days, and this is why I collect stuff when I know what I want to build and stuff is relatively easy to find and not, you know, a decade later when stuff is out of production. It's why I'll buy a decal sheet for a kit that I don't even have yet, because I know eventually I'm going to get one and I want to do it up. So I'll buy, anyways, I'm rambling. So I looked around and I did find a Kits World decal sheet out there on the interwebs that was something that I was looking for. Relatively the same thing of what I wanted. World War II, it was in bare metal. It wasn't quite as colorful as I'd like, but it had decent nose art. So I poked around and I couldn't really find anything available. And then I actually just went and looked at the Kits World site and they had it. So I actually purchased the sheet directly from Kits World. And I guess, I don't know if you noticed, it's actually sitting right here the whole time. So yeah, I actually went and bought it straight from Kits World, straight from England, and it was delivered. Now, interestingly, there was a little bit of a handwritten note on the thing from I'm assuming it's the owner of Kits World or somebody within the Kits World company, and I got a few little goodies sent to me, which are pretty cool. Now, I'd have to double check on the website. But they sent me some samples of base materials. It says now available airfield display bases, free sample. And there's like a concrete and a grass. So if you had a diorama, you could, you know, set your model up sitting on the grass or on a concrete, you know, and they're actually really nice. Like the detailing is quite nice. It definitely looks like, you know, there's texture, there's shadow. It's really well done. The grass is actually very cool. So it'd be something that, you know, if I was doing a diorama, especially if I was building for somebody, for example, like, you know, this, I could do it up with this as a base on top of a wooden plaque, and it would actually look very interesting with the concrete underneath. So it's definitely something I could look into in the future. But nice of them to send that away, include that as well. I also got a sticker from the 32nd Fighter Interceptor Squadron, which I do have to check whether this is a modern or a World War II. And again, it's just a sample, but it's a nice high quality sticker. The printing is nice. So I don't remember seeing these on the site, so I'll have to check, and just give me 1 second. And just like that, magic of editing, we're back. So took a quick look on the Kits World website just to get a feel, because I only looked at the aircraft decals, so I wanted to kind of see where we stood with everything. So these diorama bases are available on their site. So these are just a sample to kind of show me what's available. Like I said, these might be something I look into for doing some bases for client models and stuff like that. Usually if I build mine with wheels down, they're sitting just on a shelf so I can move them around. I only put them on a base if they're on a wheels up, which this doesn't make sense for. But for clients who buy them, this might be a neat addition. So obviously that's going to be nice. Stickers, they have a ton of these squadron stickers. So if anybody, just as a heads up, by the way, none of this is affiliated. I don't think these guys didn't even know I have a YouTube channel when they sent this to me. So this is kind of some free advertising for them. But these squadron stickers, they have a whole bunch for a whole bunch of different units. So that's definitely cool. Might be something I look into again, doing a diorama for somebody or a model. Be nice to put the sticker of the unit the aircraft belongs to on the base. So that's something that I'm definitely going to look into. Decal sheet itself, actually one other little thing they sent me is a 3D cockpit decal. Now this is something that I had always been interested in using. I never really purchased them before, and I looked at the website. Like I said, they have quite a bit of this stuff, so it might be something I get into going forward for cockpits. But it's a 3D kind of image. It's hard to explain how it's done. It looks like the white is painted and built up, and then the decal is placed over top of it, and you get this 3D look to the instrument panel. And I think it's a neat feature that I might want to do more of for cockpits. It's better than photo etch. And hopefully it's easy to apply. I'll try this in a minute. It looks like this is the A26 instrument panel. I'm hoping. I don't know what else it would be. It just says free sample. I took a look on their website. I don't see an A26 cockpit available, so it might just be a test sample they're printing out. But the only downside is it's slightly out of register. I'm not sure if it gets picked up on the camera or not, but the instruments are just slightly out of register from the rest of the cockpit. I completely messed up that focus. Just slightly out of register on the decal, but I think at the end of the day, it's actually going to go together quite nicely. I'm going to give it a shot. I'm probably, keep your eyes open very quickly. I'm probably going to pull the instrument panel out of the kit, install it, paint it up, get this slid over and put on the instrument panel just to see how it looks. And I'm probably going to do a little bit of a review just on this as a separate video very, very soon. And I'll get that pumped out and get that done so you guys can get a look at that. And then the decal sheet itself, as I said, I went with this, the Warbirds set that they made for the A26. They have quite a few A26 sets available. This particular one is from the 416th, 671st Bomb Squadron of the 416th Bomb Group. They're both from the same squadron, 5CL and 5CR. R is a glass nose and L is the early gun nose, which is what I was looking for because that matches up with the style of model I have. Like I said, they're pretty basic. It's just got a black stripe on the tail. Otherwise, it's basically overall aluminum. So it's going to be, you know, a little bit bland to make. But yeah, anyways, the first one is Maggie's Drawers. I apologize for anybody. There's a bit of nudity here. I like naked ladies on my World War II planes. The first one's Maggie's Drawers, which is the gun nose variant, which I'll be doing. And the other one is Dynamite, which, as I said earlier, is the glass nose version. Decent instructions. There's not much. It's all, you know, kit stencils minus the nose art. It does show you kind of where the some history of it. But yeah. Anyways, decent kit. Good decals. I've used a couple of their decals in the past, and I'm happy with them. The decal sheet itself is very nicely done. A bit of a glossy art, you know, printing, ink. Everything is nice and in register, just beautifully in registered. There's nothing, you know, no weird shading or anything going on. The artwork on the nose here looks beautiful. Lots of intricate details and shading, and really, really nice. I'm very happy with how this looks. But yeah, so this is this set. As I said, it's I needed something. The price was right, to be honest. It was only, you know, I think I want to say less than £20 to have this purchased and shipped to my house here in Canada. So, you know, maybe 25 bucks Canadian. So all things considered, it was definitely worth it. I mean, I scoured their site to see if there's anything else I needed when I placed this order, because I realized how inexpensive it was going to be to get this shipped to me. So I wanted to see if there's anything else I needed to add to my collection. Unfortunately, there really wasn't much else out there that I needed. But going back now and knowing that these they have these 3D these 3D cockpit sets, I might actually look at picking up a few of these, especially for models I want to build with the, you know, on the ground with the cockpit open. These might be a really good way of getting a really nice detailed cockpit if they have what I have. You know, if I go through their list and match it with what I have in the stash, and then I can kind of pick and choose which ones I want to get, and I might get a few of these. But like I said, keep your eyes open. I'm going to have a in-depth review of this instrument panel coming up relatively quickly, hopefully by the end of the month. And if the video's out before this video is out, I'll put the link up here so you can click on it and take a look at that video. If it isn't, which I'll have something up here saying sorry, keep an eye out because it will be out very soon. And then yeah, we'll be able to take a look at this, and I will get a quick review of this out. But yeah, very cool. And thank you to Kits World again, not sponsored in any way, just a really good company, I have to say. I mean, I bought a set of decal sheets, price was cheap, shipping was cheap, and I got a ton of free stuff included. So that's always a bonus, and depending on how this works out, I'm definitely going to be shopping directly with them again. So very happy with them. Thank you, Kits World, and we'll take a look at what these kits look like. So let's go. So once again, before we get over to the models, just take a quick look at two new coins. These are courtesy of the guy I know who works at Transport Canada, and as I've stated in previous videos, he gets these coins from time to time. With other sort of work he does and people he meets and whatnot, and he doesn't really have any interest in the coins. He keeps a few that have some real kind of personal meaning for people he knows and stuff that he does, but a lot of them are just, they don't really have any meaning to him, and he knows I have a collection, so he makes a point of giving some to me that he doesn't want. So I actually have two new coins to show you. I'm going to start with, let me get some space cleaned up over here. So I'm going to start with this one. It's out of a package, so it's easier to start with. So this particular coin, I don't know if you can make out the wording on that, it is the 1st Canadian Air Division, Canadian NORAD region. And the coin itself is for excellence, and it's presented by the 1st Canadian Air Division Chief Warrant Officer. So again, it's a numbered coin, which tells you that the design changes from time to time. But probably not a lot of these given out from the 1st Canadian Air Division Chief Warrant Officer, so it's a pretty hefty coin, to be honest. And these are actual legitimate challenge coins, whereas things like this are designed to be sold at CanX's or in air shows and stuff like that. These are legitimate challenge coins that are given out for reasons by a certain person, and they mean something to the people who it's been presented to. So it's just a little bit different, and it means something to people who have them. Inside the military, it tends to. So I mean, it's just an interesting coin to have. These are, if I ever have to downsize the collection, these are probably ones that I would start purging first, because they don't really have a meaning to me, but they do for other people who do collect these, because these are harder to get a hold of because they are specifically given out to people. The next one I have, I will pull out a little container here. Yeah, show it to you. This one is a bit more colorful. I actually kind of like this one. Again, it probably means more to somebody who does collect coins. So it's got this really, really nice crest over top of a maple leaf with the NORAD logo, and it's the Allied Joint Force Command in Naples, and this is the Deputy Commander of the Allied Joint Force Command, who I guess at the current state is a Canadian. And on the back, again, you get the NORAD symbol with the maple leaves, but I really like this crest that is on the front of it. I'm assuming that crest is either a unit crest or some specific meaning to the position. I haven't really done any research on these to know much exactly about them. I just kind of threw them on the shelf with the rest of the ones I have. So I'll have to do some research on these eventually, and post. So what eventually what I learn on some of these. But again, they're two very interesting coins. Again, not ones you can just go and buy. These have to be given to you by whoever is in the position that holds these coins. So a bit of a neat addition, and just to kind of give you an idea of what things currently look like over here, because it's getting a little ridiculous. I'm just going to get this lamp out of the way, and I'm just going to quickly swing over the camera and give you a look-see at what the status is of my coin collection. I'm just going to clean up a little. Yeah, that is the current status of all of my coins. I tend to have, these ones are the ones that were given to me, slash have some meaning to what I have, and then the rest are just coins that I have collected over the years. So it's a pretty good collection I got going. I got to find a better way to present everything. I'm running out of space here on the shelf. Yeah, that's the current status of my coins. So take a quick look at the status of the models before we move on. I'm filming this just a few days earlier than I normally would. It's currently the 27th of the month. I normally do this around the 28th, 29th, even 30th if I can swing it. I figured I would do this just a hair earlier today for a number of reasons. One, I am going to be a little bit busy the next couple of days, and I don't know if I'll have time to actually film this and get the videos edited in time to get released on the 1st. And second, I'm at a stage with these that I feel like it's a good break and it's a good time to show you the status before we move on. So we'll start with the L29, and as you'll see, it is painted, it is glossed, and it is ready for decals. And I did get the custom decals printed that I need for this, so we'll see how those turn out, how they look when I get them all on the plane. But this is basically ready to go with details, and then I'll do some minimal weathering, and I'll probably flat coat, I'll finish it in a semi-gloss. As it is a currently flying warbird, it probably would have been kept, it is kept in a slightly better than flat finish, so I'll do a semi-gloss on it. That'll seal everything in with some light weathering, but still make it look a bit more modern and not quite as, you know, what it would look like as an in-service warbird. So anyways, that's where I stand on this right now. I will be doing it up on a base with a sticker. I gotta probably go buy a new base to make it fit, but I'm gonna be using a sticker from the museum that this is part of, and I'll probably have the model sitting on the base with the sticker and everything else there so we can easily see it. But that is the status of that, and it looks really good, so I'm very happy with that. And then I'm going to be doing a lot of little things. Cockpit will be open, the nose will be open, the air brakes will be open, the flaps will be down, you know, just little things like that to kind of make the aircraft look a little bit more dynamic when it's sitting on the ground. So very happy with that. Moving on to the Dauntless, again, painted, gloss coat, and ready for decals. I'm very happy with how it came out. You don't see it as much. The gloss coat gives it a weird kind of shine. Some places are shinier than others, so it distorts the finish. But there's some light pre-shading on the wing. You can probably see a little bit here on the wing panels. So once I get the decals and the overall weathering done on this, it's going to look really good. The bottom looks great with the pre-shading. I'm very happy with how that turned out. And then once again, you get the decals, and I'm going to go here and do a lot of weathering and fuel stains and oil streaks and the exhaust staining down the fuselage and really dirty this thing up. Look like it really kind of served and fought hard in World War II. So I'm very, very happy with that. It's going to look great. The cockpit all open, the detail, the flaps open, all that kind of stuff. I think it's going to turn out looking really, really good. So I'm happy with that. The flaps are also painted already. I've got the reds on the inside and then the appropriate colors on the outside. So that's pretty much ready for install. And when I painted this, if you take a look at the time lapse when it comes out, you'll see I actually taped the cowling on so all of the paint lines line up exactly where they need to, which is always something you need to get right because it's going to look horrible if you get it wrong. So that is the Dauntless, and the Meteor is in the exact same position. It's painted, it's gloss coated, it's ready for decals. The decal process really shouldn't take me long on any of these, to be honest. The Meteor only has the basic roundels and a couple of small stencils. Same with the Dauntless, and even same with the L29. The modern warbird, as it's flown, has very little stenciling on it, so it shouldn't take long to get these decals done. It's not like some previous models like that Herc I did a few months ago. It was just covered in decals. It took me forever to get through. These are going to be a day or two, and I should get the decals done. So I'm very happy. It turned out really well. I did glue this cowling in place, and I'm going to leave this cowling as removable. I didn't gloss coat the engine cowling cover. I will eventually before I do weathering, just to make sure everything looks the same. You want everything to look homogeneous as much as possible, so I will probably gloss coat that at some point, and I'll weather that with it installed, so when you pull it off and put it on, no matter how you want to display it, I can have it displayed like this with the cover on, and then I can easily get in there and pull the cover and show the engine if I want to, depending on which road I want to go down. So I'll figure that out later, but I'm definitely going to make sure the weathering gets done with it in place and that everything is up to date. And you'll see the air brakes have been painted in the way that they should be, so that if they stay closed, they were mounted in place when I painted, so the camo lines match. And then now that I've done that, it's going to be next to impossible to get that out. Get myself a good pair of tweezers here, and then when I mount them when I mount it open, you will see how the camo will line up perfectly, and it will look exactly as it needs to look, as if it was, painted. And then so anyway, so it's going to look really good. I'm very happy. Very, very happy with how this is going to turn out. I mean, I usually am. It's not very often I finish a model and I don't like it. Yeah, it's coming along. So that's the status of the 4 kits. So stay tuned to see where I go from here. By the next month's update, I should have these finished, and I can be introducing the next 4, technically I want to call it 4.5 kits, just as a quick teaser. I do have them selected and I have a plan, and it's 4.5. So that's, if you guys have any idea what I'm talking about with a half kit, a 4.5, down below, leave me a quick message. Type something out, see if you guys can guess where I'm going with that comment, and if not, pretty sure by next month you will be able to see where I'm going with everything. So on that note, guys, thank you, and everybody and gals, I don't know who was out there watching, but for everybody who's watching this channel, thank you, thank you, thank you. And as always, if you haven't yet, please go down, like, subscribe, leave a comment. I always appreciate those. I try to answer back as quick as I can, and we'll see you all next time. So thanks a lot.
Thank you for watching, guys, and as always, if you are interested in any of the content you see, you can access my website at www.seans-aviation.com. You can see all the latest pictures of aircraft and museums and the build logs of all of my current models and past models on that site. And if you're interested in any of this content, please click the subscribe button here on YouTube to follow more. Thank you very much, and see you guys next time.